A child's mind is not a smaller version of an adult's mind. It is a completely different world. Many parents believe children think, feel, and understand things the same way adults do, just with less information. But psychology tells us something very different. A child's brain is still under construction. Every word you say, every reaction you show, and every emotional moment you create becomes part of how that child understands the world and themselves. From the moment a child is born, their brain starts absorbing information at an incredible speed. They are not only learning language or behavior, they are learning meaning. They learn what love feels like, what safety feels like, and whether the world is a place they can trust. Parents often focus on providing food, education, and discipline, but the child's emotional experience inside the home is what shapes their inner world the most. One of the most important things parents should understand is that children experience emotions much more intensely than adults. A small problem for an adult can feel like a huge crisis to a child. When a child cries over something that seems silly, it is not drama. It is real pain to them. Their emotional brain develops earlier than their logical brain, which means feelings come first and reasoning comes later. When parents dismiss a child's emotions, the child does not learn to control feelings, they learn to hide them. Children also do not misbehave because they want to be bad. Most behavior is communication. When a child throws tantrums, becomes aggressive, or withdraws into silence, it usually means they are overwhelmed, confused, scared, or seeking attention. Attention in a child's mind equals love. Even negative attention can feel better than being ignored. Understanding this single fact can change how parents respond to difficult behavior. Another key psychological truth is that children learn more from observation than instruction. You can tell a child to be calm, respectful, or confident, but they will copy what you do, not what you say. If a parent handles stress with anger, the child learns anger. If a parent avoids emotions, the child learns suppression. Children are emotional mirrors. They reflect the emotional environment they grow up in. The way parents respond to mistakes also deeply shapes a child's mindset. When a child is punished harshly for mistakes, they don't learn responsibility, they learn fear. Fear creates secrecy, not honesty. Children who grow up afraid of punishment often become adults who hide their struggles, lie to avoid conflict, or feel constant anxiety about failure. On the other hand, when mistakes are treated as learning moments, children develop confidence and resilience. Psychology also shows that children need boundaries, but not control. Boundaries provide safety. Control creates rebellion or submission. A child who grows up under extreme control may appear obedient, but inside they often struggle with low self-worth and decision-making. A child who grows up with no boundaries feels unsafe and confused. Healthy parenting balances freedom with structure, firmness with warmth. One of the most misunderstood needs of children is validation. Validation doesn't mean agreeing with everything a child does. It means acknowledging their feelings. Saying, "I understand you're upset," does not mean you are right. It means your feelings matter. Children who feel emotionally validated grow up with better emotional regulation and stronger self-esteem. Another critical point parents should know is that comparison is deeply damaging to a child's mind. Comparing siblings or comparing a child to others creates shame. Shame is not the same as guilt. Guilt says, "I did something wrong." Shame says, "I am something wrong." Children who grow up with shame often struggle with self-worth long into adulthood. Children also internalize labels very quickly. When a child is repeatedly called lazy, naughty, or weak, they begin to see these labels as their identity. The child's brain accepts repeated messages as truth. Positive labels, on the other hand, can strengthen healthy traits. Words have psychological weight, especially in childhood. Another important psychological insight is that children need emotional safety before they can learn discipline. A child who feels unsafe, unheard, or unloved cannot focus on improving behavior. Their brain is in survival mode. Calm connection must come before correction. This does not mean no discipline. It means discipline without humiliation. Parents should also understand that children do not yet have full impulse control. The part of the brain responsible for self-control develops slowly and continues into early adulthood. Expecting perfect self-control from a young child is unrealistic and unfair. Instead of asking, "Why is my child like this?" a better question is, "What skill is my child still learning?" Another powerful truth is that play is not a waste of time. Play is how children process emotions, build creativity, and learn problem solving. Through play, children practice life. When parents constantly interrupt play for productivity, they unknowingly interrupt emotional development. Children also need to feel seen, not just praised for achievements, but noticed for who they are. When a child feels invisible, they may act out or withdraw. Simple moments of presence, listening without distraction, making eye contact, sharing small conversations, build deep emotional security. Psychology also teaches us that unresolved childhood experiences shape adult behavior. Many adult struggles with anxiety, anger, people-pleasing, or low confidence can be traced back to emotional patterns formed in childhood. This does not mean parents must be perfect. It means parents should be emotionally aware and willing to repair mistakes. Repair is one of the most powerful parenting tools. When a parent apologizes sincerely after yelling or misunderstanding, the child learns accountability and emotional maturity. Apologizing does not weaken authority, it builds trust. Another essential understanding is that love alone is not enough. Love must be felt, not just intended. Many parents love deeply, but struggle to express it in ways the child understands. Some children feel loved through words, others through time, touch, or encouragement. Understanding how your child receives love matters. Parents should also be aware that emotional neglect is not always obvious. A child can have food, education, and toys, yet still feel emotionally alone. Emotional neglect happens when feelings are consistently ignored or minimized. Its effects can be as damaging as more visible forms of harm. Finally, parents must understand that raising a child is not about control, perfection, or comparison. It is about guidance, connection, and growth. Children do not need perfect parents. They need present, emotionally aware, and willing to learn parents. When parents understand a child's mind, they stop seeing behavior as a problem to fix and start seeing it as a message to understand. And in that understanding, children grow up into emotionally healthy, confident, and resilient adults.